Okay, here we go. All right, so memories of the other siblings for their chapters. So now we move into your sister Irene.
All right, when Irene was born um, in November, it was following. I wanted to call her. I said to Mom and Daddy, let's call her Halloween. Name her Halloween. And they said, no, we won't name her Halloween, but we'll name her Irene.
Mm.
And that's where Irene came from. But I wanted to name her Halloween. But,
How old were you when she was born?
well, I'm 2 years or 3 years older than she is.
Okay.
But, no, again, she and I, we would go to walk to school together. Let's get school was only about 2.5 blocks, 3 blocks away. We'd walk to school, but then in school, we didn't see much of each other. And since I was always playing sports, so I was after school, after classes, I was out playing, practicing and so on. So we didn't walk. Seldom did we walk home together, but we did go together in the morning. And I said I didn't see her that much in school, but on one day a week, I think about probably a Thursday, blacks could go roller skating in, and I've forgotten where it was. Whether I've always said it couldn't have been in across the line in Kentucky or something. But anyway, we would get in this car, Junior Farmer, and his family was one of the better off families, black families, and Irene, a couple of other people, Junior, we'd get in this car, and he would speed. He always went fast, and we would speed to this roller rink, and these are the roller rinks, and so Irene and I would go roller skating, and that's about all we really did together. I'm trying to think now. So then when I graduated, then she graduated and she came to Ohio State. So we were at Ohio State together, and there we did a lot of things together because there was like the student union, and that's where the students would gather, and of course the blacks we had our little place over there. So Irene was there, so we would always meet there, and then go into the Ohio State football games. And that was always great. So Irene and myself and several other people, we'd meet at the student union, and then go to the football game. After the football game, back to the student union. So we had a good time there, and that's where she met Doug. And when they got married, and when she graduated, Doug went into the military, into the not the Air Force,
Yep.
right? The Air Force. Anyway, so he went into the military, and Irene, and they were someplace in New England, and then they went to Madrid. They were posted in Madrid, and I think Jody, I think we went to visited them in Madrid, and
Yes.
we visited them in Madrid, and then I remember I was somewhere in Africa, and I wanted to get to Madrid. Now when I'm in where's whatever, Botswana or whatever, or I'm sorry, somewhere uh, in Indonesia. It's halfway around the world. So I said, okay. I started out in Washington, all the way around the world, and I'm going to get to Madrid so I can see the bullfight. And the plane was delayed, and I got there too late for the bullfight. So I didn't see the bullfight. But I did visit them there, I think, twice in Madrid. And then they went to Puerto Rico. And I didn't visit them in Puerto Rico, but Mama did visit them in Puerto Rico. And then from there, they went to where in California, and that's where they were. But Irene also taught in Long Island or Queens. It wasn't Hofstra. She taught, and she didn't teach in Africa, but she taught here in the United States, and she did visit. She visited Africa a couple of times, and visited me in Ghana and elsewhere. So she got to Africa as well, but she didn't teach there. And then they moved to San Diego, and that's where they live. And live now.
Sacramento.
I'm sorry, yeah, Sacramento.
All right.
But she's in Phoenix. She's in Phoenix now with her daughter.
All right. Now we're going to talk about your baby sister, Mary.
Okay, Mary. When I again see, I'd finished high school. I don't know, maybe she was in elementary school, so I didn't really know anything about her school or whatever. But I know she was an outstanding student, and one day I had some friends who were up in Greenwich Village. Greenwich. What's it? The city? Greenwich.
Up in Connecticut.
In Connecticut, and we were sort of up all night partying, and the next day I was supposed to give a little talk at Columbia, and I went, and this was the teachers for East Africa, and I gave my little talk, and then I said to the professor, I said, these are teachers for Africa, but I don't see any black people in this class. He said, well, I don't know any. I said, well, I know somebody. And she has a master's degree. She's taught at Hofstra, blah, 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 blah. And he said, oh, who is it? I said, this is my sister. So he said, all right, send her. So she went and she got in that program, Teachers for East Africa. And that's when she was there for, I don't know, a term or so. And then she went to the University of London. And I told you that's where Mama went to visit her. And then she went she studied again at Makerere in Uganda. And then she taught in an upcountry in Uganda. And again, Mama was able to visit her. I told you she went for a month and stayed a year. But Mary was a teacher there. And then when she left there, she came back and taught at Hofstra and set up different programs in that area. But she taught at Hofstra and was very brilliant, well liked, and honored. And see, we didn't get to spend enough time together. because of the age difference. But and then in Uganda, when Mama went to visit her, after the Uganda, Mary and Mama traveled across Africa. So she was there in Uganda. So that was the dream, to go to Africa. And my only regret was that your father, Leon, never got to Africa. And Father Daddy, he died when he was 60. And he never got to Africa. So those two never got to Africa. But everybody else got to Africa and liked it, thrived, taught, and really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a dream come true. And sometimes I say, well, you know what? I say life is a path, is a road traveled along many paths. And what happens if you take this path as opposed to that path? And what would have happened if I'd taken this particular job or that job? But, it just worked. And it worked for all of us.